Thousands of people, including students and local residents, protested Sunday night in Shifang, Sichuan province, in front of local government offices in an attempt to block the construction of a Sichuan Hongda copper alloy factory. The protesters became more violent on Monday, taking to the street, smashing police cars, and clashing with anti-riot police, claiming that the factory would poison the city. This is the latest large-scale environmental protest since last year in Dalian, where protesters successfully halted the construction of a petrochemical plant over environmental concerns. The protests in Dalian in August last year were seen as a victory for Weibo, China's microblogging service similar to Twitter, which called for protesters to act, demonstrating the ability of social media to spur action and pressure the local government. In this most recent incident in Sichuan, the local government quickly issued a notice to the public not to spread rumors, and the local Public Security Bureau warned against using the internet or mobile phones to organize more protests. Unlike the protests in Dalian last year, which were relatively peaceful, riot police in Shifang used tear gas and batons, and several people were hospitalized. The city officials said they would suspend the construction in response to the protesters, highlighting once again the government's sensitivity to protest, especially in regard to environmental concerns that could coalesce into a national movement. The reaction of the local government is what makes this latest protest in Sichuan interesting. The local governments, with support from the central government, supported a peaceful resolution both last year in Dalian and even the highly charged protests in Wukan over land confiscation. However, in Sichuan, the local government quickly released a circular on the prohibition of unlawful assembly, procession, and demonstration activities, effectively labeling the demonstration illegal and justifying a security response. The circular was reprinted by the People's Daily, indicating Beijing's acknowledgement of the local government's reaction. Often these local incidents are isolated and do not threaten the central government. This latest protest shows no sign of contagion across the country that would have national-level ramifications. However, given the sensitivities in Sichuan that neighbors Chongqing, the central government worries that protests in this area could intensify after the recent debacle with former Chongqing Party Secretary Bo Xilai, who is now facing criminal charges for corruption. Further, protests in Sichuan are not as common in provinces such as Guangdong, where labor issues often cause eruptions among the people. Most recently, migrants from Sichuan province took to the streets in Shaxi, Guangdong province, to protest police abuse. Sichuanese migrants from neighboring cities came to rally with their compadres, increasing the size and intensity of the protests. Although migrant protests and riots are frequent in Guangdong, we are watching Sichuan closely, as sensitivities in the region, and over Bo Xilai in particular, could further impact the leadership transition later this year.